back to the Fallon Frequency Podcast, your space for that alignment, expansion, and of course, unstoppable energy. I am your host and mindset mentor, Fallon, and I'm so excited to have you on this episode today. Happy September, by the way. I am absolutely loving this almost change in season. It has been like ridiculously hot here. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Pacific Northwest, but we're talking like 90s and 100. It's just been ridiculous. But after years of, chasing waves and living in tropical places, it actually feels really refreshing to experience a real fall or an autumn, as the Aussies would say. You know, the colors and the changing of the leaves and the crispy air and the shift in the rhythm. And I love the seasons because it's such a beautiful reminder that just like nature, we also move in seasons. You know, we are guided by the law of rhythm. You know, we're constantly expanding and contracting, we're growing and we're resting. And I really love that this season, if you are on the American side of things, invites us to slow down just enough to tune in and to reflect and to really prepare us for what's next. And in that spirit of shifting seasons, today we are completely shaking up this podcast in a big way because we are going to blend some feminine and masculine energy. And I'm really thrilled to welcome someone truly special to the show. And that, my friends, is Jason Solomon. Jason is a business consultant. He is a leader in the personal development space and a facilitator of these powerful global retreats that are igniting deep transformation and self-mastery in others. And you know how much I believe in that power of immersion and expansion and stepping fully into your highest self. And Jason really embodies that work beautifully. So today we're going to be diving into his story, into his wisdom, and all of the tools that can help us live with more intention and freedom and joy and expanding and up-leveling, okay? So this conversation is going to be incredible. Let's go ahead and dive in. So welcome, Jason. So happy to have you on the podcast. Thank you for taking your time and energy. Just a little background for our audience here. We actually met on socials back when I was kind of transforming into this next big chapter of mine, taking on that one-on-one mentorship. And I feel like our energy and perspective just kind of aligned. And we connected on socials, and it's something that I've really noticed that I love, as you kind of step into your newest version, not even your newest version, but you kind of get more connected with who you are at your core. The right people come around in your circle, which has been really great. So now, Jason, I would love for you to just share a bit about your journey, introduce yourself to the audience, maybe kind of take us on a little journey. Where were you 10 years ago compared to where you are now, and some really like key turning points that led you to do the work that you do today.
Amazing. Well, Fallon, I want to first start by saying thank you. I'm always grateful. Anytime people want to hear my story, anytime people want me on their podcast. Recently I have gotten a lot of requests to do podcasts. I never did many of them. Honestly, I've never just took the time to hop on with other people. So, but when you reached out, I told you before when we first connected that I would definitely take the time to bring as much value as I can to your audience. So I do appreciate you having me here. Mm-hmm. And yeah, of course. And I love this conversation because that's what I want it to be. Let it flow. And I hope that whoever's watching this is going to get some value from my story because I have a pretty 100%. Wild ride out. Yeah, I'll take it back. So right now I'm currently sitting in Carmel, Westfield, Indiana. Is where I live today. It's a northern suburb of Indianapolis, but I'm originally from Indianapolis, Indiana. And I grew up in that area of town. And growing up, I was an athlete. I played sports my whole entire life, and that was really everything to me. I was outside of being an athlete, I was known as the Candy Man. So I loved the game of entrepreneurship. I was selling whatever I can get my hands on, right? It was that from a very young age that I loved the idea of entrepreneurship. And I guess you can always say like hindsight's 20/20, right? You can look back and see why you are where you are, why you're doing what you're doing, and what got you on this path. Yeah. So I don't come from the wealthy family by any stretch of the imagination. You can call it like middle class kind of, but I guess it's all relative, right? Where you're
Yeah.
from. But I always had bigger vision. I always knew what I wanted. I mean, looking back at my life, I was always a kid going left when everyone went right. So I never followed the masses. It's, I guess instinctively, I just knew that most of the time, the bigger crowds of people are typically going the wrong way. And I just always had my own thing that I was doing. And so, even from the sake of me, I'll tell you this funny story. I remember in high school, it was popular to wear Nikes and Jordans, right? Everybody, especially being a basketball player, everybody had the Jordans, everybody had the Nikes. And me being me, I became famous because I wore Adidas. Like I
Yeah.
wanted everything Adidas. I wanted all the Adidas shoes, all the Adidas socks. I wanted everything different. And that was just me instinctively, right? So, growing up in that type of environment, it was unique because I had a very mixed culture. There was a lot of things happening, but I pretty much stayed focused due to sports, which kept me on a more straighter line than most of my friends at the time. And but at the age of 18, football didn't work out due to injuries, so I really had to find a new route, a new transition to get into. And I was never the most studious person. I mean, I tell people all the time, I'm very honest. I don't like school. It was never my thing. It was never something I just woke up and wanted to do. And
Yeah.
I guess it showed, right? Because I didn't even know what the degrees were that you could get, or the type of things you
Those
could
first.
get when you graduate high school. Because I wasn't there for that. I was there to sell candy and play basketball. So at the end of the day, much pressure to do some of the things my friends were doing, which I won't name. And because I won't name
I
it, you
think the
guys can
audience
probably
knows what
think
you're
of
talking
what it
about.
is, right? Exactly. So it's like when you don't say it, they already know what it is. So do some of the things that my friends were doing. I think there was a lot of pressure. And I think that, I don't know what it was. It probably was,
Pressure to
um,
do the
you
same
know,
thing.
yeah, pressure to do the same thing, pressure to follow the masses, follow suit with
Yeah.
where everyone was
Yeah.
going. And it got to a point. I mean, I was so focused, fella. I mean, I literally was so focused. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to play pro basketball, and I knew I wanted to start businesses. So I remember, I think I was maybe 16 or 15 years old. And I was doing the personal growth before I knew what it was, because I was looking up Kobe Bryant businesses, Kobe Bryant motivation, Kevin Durant workouts. I was searching, my favorite basketball players' interviews, workouts, and things to figure out what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I saw a video from Kevin Durant. If you don't know who he is, one of the greatest basketball players. And he put out a video and he said, I didn't party, I didn't hang out, I didn't have prom, I didn't do any of that. I was in the gym. After I heard that, I was in the gym.
You're like, sweet.
You can find you can find me on 38th Street, LA Fitness, from sun up to sundown. That's where I was. And it got to a point where even my dad was like, dude, go party with your brother. So I had my dad even saying go party, let alone my friends, let alone my
Did you have an
associates, let alone
urge
the
to?
girls. No,
No, you were
zero
so
urge,
focused. Yeah.
zero urge. You know what's funny? I remember I had two things I used to do. 16, 17. It's so crazy. You're throwing my memory
Sorry.
back,
We're taking it back,
which is
guys.
good, which is good. I remember whenever I walked the hallways and I would see like pennies on the ground. I
Mhm.
remember I had my friend Sean. We were in the hallway coming from like the gym or something, and I picked up a penny. And he said, "Bro, why are you picking up pennies?" I said, "Because I'm a penny closer to a million."
Oh, I love that.
And then I'm always in the gym. They're like, "Where are you going?" I'm going to the gym. And they would say, "Why?" I said, "Because I'd rather party on a jet than party in someone's basement."
Oh, there you go.
That was me,
Yeah.
right? I'd rather party in the jet than party in the basement. And I would say that to myself. It's gonna be way more fun to party on the jet than party in the basement, party on the jet than party. And I've been blessed to do that in a certain degree.
Yeah.
So there was those things that because I actually had a mentorship call with someone in the UK. He's running a health or nutrition company, CMOS company.
Amazing.
And I told him, I said, with our minds, we have the ability to do this thing called forecast. Just like the weather channels can forecast a preview of the rain that's coming from what's happened in the other region, and they can say, okay, it's going to rain shower in about 7 days.
Yep.
because they've seen what's taking place from what happened over there. The same thing we can do with our brain and kind of put together the piece of what's to come based upon what took place. So I
Yeah.
seen what took place. I seen people go nowhere. I seen people struggling. My worst fear was to die and work in the job. It's my worst fear. So I seen that, right? I've seen my mom making 30 grand a year for as long as I've been alive.
Yeah.
I seen the bills. I seen her on the floor on Sunday mornings, sitting in front of the Colts game, cutting out coupons to go to the grocery store. We couldn't buy nothing unless I had a coupon. I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was like I don't have time to waste. Like
Yeah.
I know we're not on an infinite clock. So that was always my mentality. And so when I read the books, I'm like, oh wow, more of
There
us.
you go. It makes sense. Great. Other people think this
Yeah,
way. I
yeah.
think it's great what you
So
said, what you've seen where you didn't want to be. But I think what's also really great, like someone like yourself sharing your story, what's possible. It's like
hmm
showing people that they don't have to stay in that reality if it's not serving them. You know,
yeah.
there's so much more out there, and yeah, I really really appreciate that story, and I love I love what you said. Do I want to party in the basement or do I want to party on?
I'm partying a jet, right?
Yeah,
So yeah.
probably the jet. I'm gonna go jet, guys.
Yeah.
Really
And
really
so I think that to me, Fallon, was a sense of delayed gratification,
yeah.
right? It was me programming my mind again, because I think we mistake fun with happiness. I
Yep.
remember I heard Bob Proctor told us. He said, fun is very shallow and short lived. Happiness is very long lasting and runs deep. And
Ooh, I
in
like
my culture specifically, we definitely mistake fun with happiness. We definitely mistake assets versus depreciation. We definitely mistake that. So I just kind of saw that happening, and didn't want to make those same mistakes. Which I made a lot of mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I made more mistakes. I made enough mistakes for all of us. So
part of the journey.
yeah,
It's all a
100%.
learning journey. Well, that's incredible. And what, like, just to have that discipline at such a young age. But I mean, being a professional athlete, I admire, I look at like Olympians, right?
Almost professional.
Oh,
Almost.
okay.
I
Well,
got
I
hurt.
reckon you could have done it if it weren't for
Yeah,
those
yeah,
injuries, but they had
yeah,
another path for you. But it's the
yeah.
discipline, right? Someone that's showing up, like you said, like I could party and go have fun, or I'm building a life for myself. And I think I talk about with a lot of people, they're up leveling, reaching for their dreams. There's this space, I call it the sacred space, where it's like you're not where you are, or sorry, you're not where you want to be, but you're not where you were before. And you're kind of like
hmm
that in between and how to stay consistent in between, and that's
Right.
probably one of the most challenging parts. I mean, isn't it the whole like three steps from gold? It's just like
Yeah.
having that. What would you say? Do you have advice, on the hard days when someone's like, I'm doing it, I'm doing this thing? What's your, I mean, I feel like I actually know what you're going to say, but I'd love to
Do
know
you?
your take on it, on what brings you back, right? How do we keep that discipline? How do we keep striving for that next level if that's what we want? Did
I
you?
wouldn't call it advice. I would just call it I think, right? So I'm gonna say what I think, which I could be wrong. I think what would keep anybody going on a real deep sense
Mm-hmm.
is gratitude.
Mm,
Like I forget it, and I may kind of paraphrase what I'm gonna say right now, but I think someone said the way you say thank you to God is by putting in the work,
yeah, I like that.
right? So and that could be, conflicting advice for some people, because I think people mistake work with jobs and work with, you know, those are two different things. I actually posted this on my Instagram. A job is what you get paid to do. Your work is what you're called to do. So when I
Yeah.
say work, that's what I see, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
have a different perception on it. But I think it's gratitude. I think it's being grateful to be alive, and not and understanding this one thing that I learned: time is of the essence.
Mm-hmm.
You won't get it back.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's the one depreciating asset that we won't get back. So for me, that's what kind of keeps me going. And then also, Fal, I've been so blessed to have friends around the world. I have friends in 40, 50, 60 countries. And really, like, if I flew to Istanbul, Turkey, I have somebody pick me up from the airport, right? So it's
Oh,
like because of the business I built throughout the years and international friends, networking, like how I met you, right? Like
yeah.
connecting with people online. Um, and I remember I was doing a call and I told him, um, I said, "Do you want to know why you play around?" Because this was like a real serious call. It got serious, right? So you guys want to know why you're playing around, why you're wasting time, because you don't believe you're gonna die one day.
Yeah.
We see people dropping like flies all around us, but we never think it's gonna be us.
Yeah.
So we have this lackadaisical, slow motion type of thing going on. But the real ones that do it, they have a sense of urgency because they know like this isn't always going to be like this. Like, and then I think they have a sense of gratitude because they know like not everybody has this.
Yeah.
So when we live in America, we got to really take a step back. I've been blessed to travel to certain places where I've seen the ghettos, I've seen the slums, I've seen how people really live in Mexico. I've been to Germany and I've seen slums in
Hmm.
Germany. You wouldn't picture that, like people building like a tent city in slums.
Yeah.
So in America, we don't get it. So how I think about it is this: I'm not in Gaza, I'm not in the Congo, I'm not in Sudan, I'm not in certain regions where they have those things going on. So I have nothing but gratitude.
Yeah.
I have nothing but zero excuses. A bad day? How in the world do you live in America and you have a bad day?
Yeah. What a great, I mean, I talk about like life being a gift and remembering that
Yeah,
every day. But the fact that you even said what you said, because I've been blessed to travel quite a bit. And I think
yeah.
it gives you just such a more open perspective, right? Like you don't realize
Mm-mm,
how good you have it. You
mm-mm.
don't, you're complaining about something that those people are begging for. It's just like a reality check.
So it's like a quote I said. First, I heard this quote said, "First world problems are third world dreams."
Yeah,
You know,
that's a great
and yeah, it
perspective.
is a reality. It is a reality check because you wake up and you start to see like, wow, we do have more than most. And I always tell people that's why I encourage people to travel. That's why I started doing my retreats. I used to travel a lot before COVID, like I'm sure most many people have. But I started doing my retreats because I said, man, I want to take these people out of their environments. I want to bring people to different places around the world so they can see. And not all places are, there's some places that, some, very few, but maybe better than the States. Very
Yeah.
tiny places, but not as big as the States. But there's a lot out there that if you don't see, then you tend to think that this is it,
Yeah.
right? And you tend to base your whole entire life existence off of this one little place that you've never traveled out of. So for me, it's a sense of gratitude that keeps me going, and also understanding that I'm not going to be here forever. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The travel is a huge one. And it's that whole like zoom out, right?
yeah,
There's a big ass world out there. We're just
yeah.
a tiny little piece of it. Yeah, incredible. I love that. And I love the way you communicate things. And this was a question, we kind of laughed about earlier that I'd love to bring up because I know I've got different types of people in the audience. You'd mentioned in a different interview that you're not someone that loves talking to people, but it seems that it's coming so natural to you. And that, and I'm laughing because
I'm a
I
weird
actually,
person, Fallon. I'm a weird person.
no, no, but I'm laughing because, like, if you knew my past, I was like a shy, mute girl, and I just did a course or I did something for ladies last week on calibrating their confidence. And I'm like, who am I to speak about confidence? But it's funny as we push against our edge, these next levels that we get to. So I'd love for you to like touch a little bit on how you maybe overcame that or how you didn't let that fear stop you from what you're doing because you do a lot of you speak a lot, you're obviously running personal development retreats, so that's a big part of your job now, right? Or your work, let's
Hmm.
say your God's work is what you're
Yeah,
doing. So how did you get past that fear?
yeah. We did talk for a little
we
bit.
did we did let's just touch a little bit for the audience to grab.
Yeah, I was the kid with the hoodie up, the headphones in. Even if I knew you, I wouldn't talk to you. That number one because I didn't know how to. I think the biggest thing Fallon was this. I was nervous speaking to people because I didn't know how to communicate what was going on in here out here.
Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't, looking back, I think I was afraid that people wouldn't understand me, right? Because I didn't understand how to communicate what's going on in here, out here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 14 years old and I'm watching a show on Bravo called Million Dollar Listings New York by Ryan Serhant, Luis, and these other guys. And I set a goal. I said, I want a $14 million pen. I want that penthouse in New York City, $14 million. And I'm 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. And my mom and dad are watching the show too, but I'm like, I want to get that.
But different.
Imagine
You
me
probably
saying
believe
that,
it's
right?
gonna happen, right?
Oh, for sure, sold. Like that's still something I want to have. But imagine me verbalizing that, sitting in a $150,000 house
Yeah.
in that environment, right? So imagine me trying to explain that. And also the next thing I did not want, I don't even want this today. I do not want people telling me I can't do it. Because I know if somebody asks me, what do you want? I'm going to tell you what I want. But the thing I don't want is I don't want someone putting water on my fire.
Yeah.
So I was looking
Your
back, I can say
opinions
this
on.
looking back. I was very cautious on who I shared words with
Mm.
because I didn't know how it would be taken. I thought it'd be laughed at. I thought it'd be confused, right? So that made me very nervous, very shy, very quiet, very moody. And took a lot to break out. I mean, my friends had to force me to get social media. Like I didn't have an Instagram until I was like 17 or 18. Everybody else had, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I didn't even have
Yeah.
that stuff. They're like, bro, you're not on anything. I'm like, well, I'm in the
I
gym,
prefer it that
What?
way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I prefer it that way. Even to this day, like if I didn't have business, I wouldn't be on social media.
Yeah.
So I now network on social media to build relationships, build connections. It used to be only for business, but now I have a different purpose than that. But yeah, I was very quiet growing up, and the thing that got me out of my shell was when I started doing direct sales, and I started to have to speak and talk and connect. I remember it was a meeting I went to with 5 people. I was so nervous, and I knew this gentleman. He actually was one of the gentlemen that introduced me to Bob. His name was Darren. I went in. I knew I was so nervous speaking, and I knew where he kept his liquor. And open up the refrigerator. It was right there on the door. It was red berry Ciroc. So nervous speaking.
Redberry is that even liquor? What
I
is
went
it?
in there. It's like a flavored vodka,
Yeah.
and I just drank. I don't know how much Ciroc I drank. I didn't get the I didn't get the cup. I just
Just do a little
at
chug.
18 years old just to go speak in front of 5 people my first time.
Aw.
And I used to wear all black. Now I wear all black because I like black. I don't know what it is, but I used to wear all black intentionally because when I started to speak, Fallon, my nervous pattern was sweating.
Yeah.
So I was sweating. And if I wore like red, you would see, like
You'd see it all.
you'll see it, right?
Yeah.
You will see my nervousness. So I used to wear all black because I knew I would start sweating. I used to carry 2 to 3 extra shirts. So when I was done speaking, I could change.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. Like it was really not good.
This is
It
some
was
nerves.
really not good. It was some freaking nerves, man. Like, oh my God. So I think what helped me overcome it was 2 things. Number one, repetition.
Yep.
I think when you face it there, you face the thing you fear, the death of fear is certain, right? You get used to, you get comfortable to, you become comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's one thing. So the second thing was I remember someone told me, they said, Jason, do you know that speaking is the number one fear in the world? And I was like, is it? And they're like, yeah, it's the number one fear in the world. It's more fearful than death. Some people rather die than talk in front of a crowd. That's how
Yeah.
real it is. Like psychologically, they rather be like, yo, just kill me, dude. Like it's more fearful than spiders. Than the number one or number two fear in the world is public speaking.
Wow. I did
And they
not. I mean,
said,
I knew it was up there. I didn't know it was
yeah,
number
yeah. And they said, do you know that you're doing the number one thing? That if you asked any person that you're talking to come up here and speak, they wouldn't even attempt it. So you're doing the thing that everyone's afraid to do. I don't know
one.
what it was that just shot like a lightning of confidence in me.
Yeah.
It was just shot right through my body, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I am."
No, I love
You
that.
had to fix it, dust it, dust
Yeah.
the
I was
shirt,
like,
dirt
shit.
off your shoulder. I was like, I guess I am doing what everybody's afraid to do because I'm afraid to do it, right?
But you
So
did it.
that was
Different.
something. Yeah, exactly. And so I started to notice that when I started speaking to crowds. So when you do speak, you learn how to read the room. You learn how to read this person's energy. You learn how to talk to this person. You learn how to connect with the people. I learned the names that you say the most in the crowd are the ones that will buy first. So I learned all those different things. So then what I actually started to do was I'm like, hey, listen, I want you to come up here and share your story. And I would just kind of play with people to see if they'll do it. And they're so scared. They're
You
like
wouldn't do
so
it.
scared to do it. And I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
right. I was
I had to
pumping you
boost
up.
my ego. Yeah. So number one, repetition, but number two, learning that I was doing the thing that no one was doing.
Yeah.
And then I shared you a quick story. I remember I was in Germany with the I was in Germany, and if you guys see like on my Instagram, it's me in the red suit. And that was such a cool experience because I remember it so vividly. Like that was actually an event that Bob Proctor spoke at with us. And he was sitting in the front row when I was speaking. And Fallon, I kid you not, I remember I got off stage and Linda, Bob's wife, was like, Jason, you were up there for 37 minutes. You didn't look at the clock. I didn't realize how long I was up there. Like I was
How
just
long are you
talking,
meant to
talking,
be
talking.
talking? Like 5 minutes?
15 minutes.
15, okay. A
I had a 15-minute
little bit
segment, right?
double time there.
I went way over. I'm hopping off the stage, going into the crowd. I'm just lost. I just black out. And I remember in the middle of my speech, it's like one of the greatest moments ever. I think I had to ask Linda for that recording. But in the middle of my speech, Bob, he's looking at me. He's in the front row. He said, Jason, you're really good in front of everybody.
You're
Like,
like, Bob.
he stopped me in the middle of my speech. And the only thing I could say was, hey, I guess I'm good. Like, who do I sound like? I've just studied your information.
Yeah.
I
Our
mean, I
teacher.
guess who do I sound like? I sound like you. Now I went back into my speech. Anyways, got off the stage. A gentleman came up. His name was Jake. He's from the UK. He came up to me and he asked me. He said, "Bro, how do you do it? Like, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? Like, how do you speak on stage like that? How do you do that? How do you do that?" And I remember when he came up to me, I told him because I think people just think that you don't have fears when you do things, that they're afraid to do.
Yeah.
The furthest thing from truth. It's like there's a quote that said, "You can't have courage without fear." That's the only way you're gonna have courage is if you're afraid of something, right?
Yeah.
Facing the thing you fear. So they just thought that I just wasn't afraid or I wasn't scared or I'm trying to find one of the photos. Actually, you guys can see it. There's that photo right there
Oh, yeah. There you are.
on my
Nice red
Instagram.
suit.
Yeah, nice red suit. Told you. I wear red whenever I speak on stage.
Not
I wear the
sweating through it
brightest color.
anymore.
If I'm gonna be scared, you gonna remember me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but he got off stage. He's like, "Man, how do you do it? How do you do it?" And I said, "Whenever you get nervous, because this is an instinctual thing for survival, your conscious mind shuts completely off,
Hmm.
and your subconscious mind takes action, which is called the survival mode. That's why animals don't have a conscious mind; they only operate subconsciously, which is habitual through instincts. So, if somebody's trying to rob you, you don't have time to think. You just instantly go into defense. Right? You just instantly snap into it because that is your default mode.
Yeah.
Whatever's in your subconscious mind, meaning what you're programmed to do, that's your default mode. Well, my default mode used to be sweating, used to be, doing whatever the heck I was doing on stage. It used to be, that was my default. So, because I started to reprogram my mind and I shared my story so much, and it was in me to the point my story was in me. I knew that if I could start off a speech two ways, if I could start off with my story and a powerful quote. So I would always look at my phone notes um, to find a quote that I can share in the beginning that would just like the audience would do one of those, right? If I
Yeah.
can do that, and then if I can share my story, I can get to the end. I remember walking up on that stage. I had a note card of everything I shared. I set that thing right down on the whatever they call that thing right
What
there,
do you think?
microphone.
Yeah.
Set it down. And I just start walking around. That's why I said I just went blank.
Yeah.
So he's like, "How do you do it?" I said, "Dude, my default mode now is to share my story. So when I get nervous, I share my story. And I program my subconscious mind because I said, if I'm going to be on stages, I have to figure this out.
Yeah.
So I just started sharing my story so much, sharing my story, sharing my story, sharing my story, sharing my story. So now when I get nervous, my story comes out. So people think that you're not scared. No, I'm still timid. I'm still nervous. I still have those patterns. But it just doesn't last as long, and I just know how to deal with it differently. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what your story, telling this story. I say this to a lot of people, if you want different results, you've got to be willing to do things that most people won't. If you keep, like you said, you never followed the crowd, you've got to be willing to take those bigger chances. You've got to be willing to push past that fear, have that courage. And exactly what you did. And the default mode, I love because I speak to this a lot. Like your default, you're raising your bar, right? Of what, originally is just sweating and like freaking out to now like, hey, I tell my story, like, it's just a completely different
I only
default.
got one shirt today, Fallon. I only
Yeah.
got one shirt. I didn't bring three shirts.
I'm making you nervous, sorry.
Nah, you're good.
No, I think that's a great story because people do think that. Like when you're speaking to them, they just feel like you weren't afraid. You didn't go through it. And it's like, no, the difference is I didn't let fear hold me back.
Exactly.
Which yeah, I
Exactly.
absolutely love that and love that visual. I hope everyone saw you in that coat. They can check you out when they didn't. Another interview I had listened, you had spoken about synergy, and I'd love you to touch a little bit on that and expand. Because I think synergy is a really cool part of it. Because I speak everything kind of energetics, raising your frequency,
Mm-hmm.
raising your vibration. But let's throw some synergy into the mix.
100%. Yeah, this was something that was another thing that really opened my eyes up about teamwork, working together. 'Cause I was
Mm-hmm.
a very isolated individual, for sure. I even to this day, again, I'm an introvert.
Yeah,
I think I can do everything by myself. I know I can't,
you're doing a
but I
lot.
think I
So you're
can,
doing a good job.
right? So, anyways, I heard something, and again, all these quotes, right? I've listened to a lot of podcasts, John Maxwell or Bob Proctor or people like that. And the biggest thing that I realized and recognized was that energy and synergy are two different things. There's a story about horses, all right, and it was a great story, and it made sense for business too. But it said one horse, and I don't remember what type of horse. And don't say, well, Jason, what type of horse is it? A stallion or this? I don't know.
Landmines, got spots.
No clue. So maybe it's different for different horses. But they said one horse can carry 8,000 pounds. If you hook it up, it can drag 8,000 pounds on wheels. But if you hook up two horses together, those two horses now can carry 32,000 pounds.
Wow,
Now, most people are like, well, Jason, you obviously didn't go to school. It makes sense because you can't
that
do
is not
math. I'm like,
math.
no, that's not math. All right. That's Jason math. But, anyways, one horse 8,000, two horses 32. Well, that doesn't make sense until you recognize that when you put two together, it automatically creates a third space,
Mm,
right? A third mind because they feed off of each other now.
yeah.
They feed off each other. It's like you going to the gym by yourself. Everything hurts. But imagine going to a gym with a friend that's funny. You don't feel anything because you're laughing the whole time. You're talking, and you get to the end of the workout, you don't even recognize what you did. That's why I like going to the gyms when they're packed because I feed off of people's energy. I don't like going to the gym when it's really empty. I know that
Yeah.
may sound weird. I
Interesting.
like going to the gym when it's packed because I end up lifting stuff I never thought I would lift because I'm looking at someone
Got an
else who lifts
audience.
something. Yeah, I got an audience now. I have people watching, right? So I can't be weak. So I gotta, push things I never pushed before, and I recognize that. So same thing when you're building a business. That's why I encourage people to have masterminds. I built an accountability group called Self Mastery. So I have that every single day. I have my retreats that I host. Doing them maybe 2 to 3 times a year now. We did one in London. Just got back from Utah like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Then I'm doing another one in the south of France. And then I just announced I'm doing one in Tokyo, Japan.
Ooh,
And we'll figure out the dates for that soon. But I'm doing those retreats to pull people together, to mastermind, to exchange ideas, to have. They're based around three things: mindset, fitness, and lifestyle. So we do
okay.
mindset trainings. We do some type of fitness activities. I'm big into health and fitness. I believe you can tame the body or exhaust the body, you can tame the mind.
Yes.
So, and then also different adventure things. So based upon wherever we go, we'll do things tailored to that area. So London was more of a luxury thing. We did a lot of luxury stuff. And then Utah, outdoors, ATVs, whitewater rafting, those different things, team bonding. But it was more so the masterminds. The masterminds we had were incredible. where we sat down, put our heads together, put two and two together. And it created a certain energy that even is still carrying with those people today that I'm getting
Yeah.
messages from and everything. So I think
Exactly.
that's importance of that, especially in life or in business. I mean, I'm always speak from a business standpoint, but in life in general, you know, two, one, there's a quote that said 1 times 1 equals 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I've definitely even noticed that, like I was saying to you earlier in the call, that whole collaboration, the feeding off each other's energy and just opening up the perspective is really awesome. If people did want to join your retreats, are they purely business based, or what's kind of the entry point there? Are they kind of open to everyone? Like what's the mastermind section kind of about? What are you guys bouncing ideas about?
Yeah, they're open to anyone that's serious about growing. Now, I'm very selective on who goes there,
Yep.
only because I know that there's a quote I heard, all these quotes, right?
I love the
There's a
quotes. I
quote that
got a whole
said,
notebook of quotes too.
water only drowns a boat when it gets in it.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how much water is around the boat. Matter of fact, you need the water around the boat to even float. I look at water like negativity.
Okay.
So you actually need negativity to survive,
Yeah.
right? But when negativity, it doesn't matter how much negativity is outside of you. It matters how much gets in you.
Yeah.
So me, I'm on pro positive side, but I'm very selective. People are welcome to come. They're willing to attend, but I make sure that I speak and I build a relationship with people that
Okay.
do come to those because they're really a personal thing. Um, I guess I'll take you back on kind of how I started those because it's an
Sure.
interesting
Love it.
story. So throughout the last 10 years, I've been to so many different events, very blessed to be at many of Bob Proctor's events. The last event he ever spoke at, I spoke on stage with him.
That's so
So if you
special.
see the photo that's on my Instagram, the first one, that's me and him on stage hugging in the
No.
suit that he bought me
Yeah. Love that.
in the suit shop. So yeah. And so I've been to the big events, did those for years. But I remember there was something that Bob said. He said, if you can find a way to do something better, do it better. So
Mm.
I was like, all right, take the best, leave the rest. What do I like from events? Well, I love the energy. Energy's freaking crazy when you go to events. I've yet to be to a Tony Robbins event, but everybody I talk to that goes to a Tony Robbins event literally can walk across 10 miles of fire. The energy's crazy, right?
Yeah.
They do the firewalks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love the energy. I loved getting outside of my home, right? We would travel different places. I love the community that was around. There's more things I love about it as well. But the things I didn't like were very, as big as the things I liked about it, there were some things that I didn't like that were just as big. I am not pro school. I'm so sorry. I'm
Not
a
pro
very
what?
honest person. School. I don't like school.
Yeah.
This is just me. I don't like it. Probably because of my own personal experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting put into,
Usually the
getting
case.
put in like, getting put in ISS for selling candy. ISS is in school suspension for
Yep.
selling candy. Being an entrepreneur, to
No,
me, that
just
didn't fly,
fly with you.
right? So, anyways, going to these events, you're typically there for 2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
right? You have 2 or 3 day seminars that are from 9 to 5,
Yeah. That nine
and you're
five.
in a big room where it's cold, and they specifically set the temperature cold because if it's cold, you won't fall asleep.
Ah.
So the rooms are always cold from 9 to 5, and I would go to these exotic locations: Dubai, Czech Republic, Cancun, wherever I went to with events, Toronto, all these nice places. But I never saw those places. Germany,
Yeah.
never saw them because I'm in a room.
Cold room.
And I'm thinking this whole time, I'm like, I could have just been in Indiana because I don't see the place that I'm in. So I did not like sitting in a big room, cold room, from 9 to 5 in an exotic place that I wasn't going to explore. So I
Yes.
said, all right, if I'm going to do my own thing, what am I going to do? So I said, I'm not going to do the big events because what I loved about the big events were not that. It was the after event, meaning the small gatherings we would have at dinner. The small gatherings, like, hey, come up to my hotel room, let's talk, let's mastermind. The
Yeah.
small gatherings, that's what I love the most. It was never big on stage with Bob Proctor's when I went to their home and I'm sitting down in the living room and I'm talking to them. So I
Yeah.
said, I'm going to keep my retreat small, 10 to 20 people based upon how I feel. right? Some of them be 10, some of them be 20, some be 15 allowed.
Yeah.
We're going to do them in exotic places around the world, right? We're going to do, my goal is to do at least 4 per year, and each one is in a different continent.
Love
Okay.
that.
And I wanted to make sure that they were with people. Not everybody has a business because I don't want to have to explain what personal growth is. I want you to already be seasoned, right? You already have
Yeah,
the
yeah.
foundation. Personal, I don't,
You
what's a
got to be like doing
mindset?
your own steps before getting in there. This is
Yeah,
like,
you got to
yeah,
be,
yeah,
because I won't come down here too far. I'll meet you where you are, but I'm not going to go too far to do that at these
yeah.
retreats because I really get into some detailed things. You got to be in a personal growth. Number two, since I'm into fitness, I got a rule with the men that are in my community. Women, it's a little bit different. I try not to
What are you
tell the
saying?
women what to do with their body. But men, I got a rule. If you're in my community, you need to build a six pack
Nice.
because
Okay.
there's a
Well,
statistic.
you got to mean a personal
Yeah,
growth. You got to have a six pack
for men, that's for the men,
for
not
men.
for the
Okay.
women. That's
Not
for
for
the
the
men.
women.
Because for men, I'm like, how you treat your body shows me your discipline.
Yeah.
Hey, and there's a whole, if you want to get scriptural, there's a whole Bible story on that, right? But anyways, how you treat your body shows your discipline. And statistically, this is a real stat. It's harder for a man to get a six pack than it is for him to make a million. Now, some people are like, wow, that sounds so crazy. Really? I'm like, well, do you think Elon Musk has a six pack? No. And
Pretty
he's
big.
worth 300 billion. So,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
guy who runs NVIDIA, he definitely doesn't. Warren Buffett definitely doesn't. Jeff Bezos, probably now, but probably doesn't. So we got to think. So I
Mm.
said, if you can do the thing that's harder than earning a million, then what can you do with a million? So
Yeah.
with the retreats, we do fitness activities as well.
Okay.
And I make sure people are on that frequency. Because again, if you can control this is the discipline. Then also we do some type of exploration of the city. So if I do the mindset trainings, they're only for an hour to 2 hours,
Are they in the cold
maybe
room?
three max. Nope. You know how I do them? I
How
don't
do you,
even I don't even rent out a room. The last two ones that I had were either in my suite,
yeah.
like I had a suite and where it had like a living room section. We did it up there because that
Right.
reminded me of when I would go to my mentors' homes, when I would be invited to the hotel suites, private meetings, etc. So I did them in my suite, or we'll do it maybe like at a nice villa, coffee shop, etc. In France, I'm getting a villa, like a
Right.
if you don't know what a villa is, like a luxury home, like a
Mhm.
villa. Tokyo, I'm doing it in my suite based upon how I have it set up. So that's why again I want to know these people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm
Be
letting you in my
connected with
suite.
them.
So,
Yeah, because it's like again, but my mentors are so cool. Bob and Linda said, "Come to my house. Come to
yeah.
the house.
Love
What are
that.
you doing on Tuesday? Nothing. All right, just come to the house." It's like they opened the door for me. They let me in. They didn't even know me.
Yeah.
So it was an energetic thing. So I do the masterminds and then we'll do our activities. If we're going to be in Tokyo, we're going to be in Tokyo. If you come to my retreat and it's in Utah, you're going to leave saying, I've seen Utah, not just I was in Salt Lake. No, you're going to see Utah. You're going to see friends. You're going to explore the city. You're going to do specific things that are tailored towards that region that we're traveling to. And I promise you, this is me not exaggerating. I have this on
No,
footage.
I
I have it
love this
recorded
vision.
that every single person that came to London and every single person that came to Utah that I just had. I have a full videos recorded. I just haven't put them out on social media, the testimonials. They told me that it was one of three things. And I have had these people that have been to Bob Proctor seminars before, that have been to Andy Elliott's meetings, that have been to different retreats. They've been to these things. They've been to meetings. They've been to big seminars. They've been to small gatherings. They literally have told me, every single person, it was the best retreat of their life, the best event of their life, or the best days of their life.
I
And
love
I
that.
have it recorded. To me, that was huge because I'm like, wait a second.
Wait a
I
second.
got a I got a big ego, but it ain't that big, right?
Yeah.
It's not that big.
This shit is
Like I'm
recorded,
like,
okay?
yeah, no, that's why I said record. I was like, say it again, record this, right? Because I need proof. Like I don't just want to say it. I don't want to say like we're the best in the world. I want to prove it, you know. So
Yeah.
every person, and I know why they say that because There was a photo taken. My friend Marcos, he's the one that goes to all these different events as well. I said, Marcos, do you notice something that I did? This was when we were in London. I said, do you notice something that I did with every single person here? No, what are you talking about? And I showed him a photo. I have a friend named Uni. He's from Finland. He came to London.
Yeah.
It was a photo of my arm around Uni's shoulder. I said, look at this photo and tell me what you see. Every person, I made sure I put my hand like this.
They felt
Every
connected.
person. They felt connected.
Fucking
They
going.
felt connected. When I was go to Bob's house, how you doing, son?
No.
You good? It was that.
Yeah.
It was that. I said, that's why these people are saying it. Other than that, I don't know. I
No.
don't know.
Well,
I
I
know
love
there's a lot
that
of
because
special things.
like everything you said, and it's so many pause for me because I'm into personal growth. I've been to these, big conferences across the world. I've invested in myself. And it's that 9 to 5, which I
Thank
fucking
you. I
love, which is
appreciate it.
super exciting. Yeah.
Maybe while we're here
I
on
don't,
Zoom, maybe I can find the quick. Maybe I can do this. Let's see if it'll work. Since we're on Zoom, maybe I
see if
can
we can see
screen
it.
share really quick and kind of show you the video that I put together.
Yeah. You can show me. Also,
Yeah.
I'm going to pop in the show notes for everyone listening,
Yeah.
where to contact you, where to check out these retreats and all of that, um, which will be
Well,
great.
anybody that wants to come, again, it's more of a personal thing. I'll put all the retreats on the website, but I want to connect with the people. Like, so if they want
Yeah.
to reach
So
out to
you
me,
let me know the best
um,
ways for them to
phone
connect with.
call, conversation, Instagram, my phone number. I'm always open. I don't try to hide anything. If you want to reach out to me on Instagram or my phone number or WhatsApp, my phone number is +1 317 432 9454. So the +1 if you're on WhatsApp or if you just want to message me regular here in the States, you can connect with me, reach out, let me know that you've seen Fallon's podcast, and I would love to be of value. But let me see if I can send a request, Fallon, so I can
Yeah.
just quickly
So I
screen
just
share
did
and
it. We can see if we
see
can
if this
share it.
video. I want to make sure the video plays smoothly.
So it should be on your
All
screen now.
right. Yeah. So I have a couple videos. These are like 30 seconds each, right? That I have my photographer put together for Utah. This is the one we just had in Utah. Self Mastery is the brand. So I call these self mastery retreats. This is our second one we just had like 2 weeks ago in Utah.
Park City, Utah, man. SM Retreat number 2.
That's the first little clip. Now, everybody there, some of these people are entrepreneurs. Some of them are professional dancers, like my friend Alex. Some of them are into insurance. Some of them have different sales business. Some of them run different companies as well. Some of them are still working traditional jobs. So it's a full mixture. But that was just kind of like a quick briefing. But I do have another one that's more so of me talking very quickly.
Yeah, I love it.
Let me make sure that this is the right one. This is it.
What's up, everyone? We're in Park City, Utah at the second self-mastery retreat. I'm excited for everybody that's here. We have people that came in from Canada, from California, from Arkansas, all around the states to be here. And we're focused on mindset, fitness, and adventure. And we're changing lives and shifting minds every single day. So it's exciting. I look forward to having you at the next one. If you're not here, be here next time because you need the environment. Listen, one of my mentors, the late great Bob Proctor, said, environment is more important than heredity. So make sure you're here, get around the right people, and I'll see you at the top. Let's go.
I love that so much.
Cool.
That's incredible.
Quick little clips. Yeah, thank you, thank you. It was amazing, and that didn't even show half of what we did. I mean, we had a crazy time. From again, you saw how the meetings were, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
me, us
Very
on the
casual,
rooftop,
very
like sitting down.
well, it's intimate.
But those were the groundbreaking moments for people. I have a gentleman named Kevin. He was in the clip. Kevin, God bless this guy. He actually had a brain injury. So when you meet him, he's not your typical human, right?
Yeah.
He's very loud, very him. He's not fully aware of everything that's going on. But Kevin's my guy. I met Kevin 2 years ago. I called him maybe a month before that, and I said, Kevin, what are you doing? And excuse my French. I said, Kevin, bring your ass to Utah. I need you here. Okay, Jay. Okay, Jay. Let's go. I'm going. I'll be there. That's Kevin. Now, Kevin was in sales. He was doing pretty good. He had probably a rough month actually before he came to that retreat. And again, here's the thing. If you ever want to validate anything that I share, any stories, anything, I'm the person where I never share anything unless I have a receipt to prove it. Okay,
Yep.
so if anybody's like, Jason, can you prove this stuff? Can you show me like
Hey,
screenshots? Can you show me videos? I promise you, any story I talk about, because I've seen where if people share things that they can't prove, then that's how you end up in a lot of trouble in business. So I learned, don't talk about anything, Jason, you can't prove, you can't show a photo of, you can't show. Kevin came to the retreat. We were in my room. It's like 10 o'clock at night. We were just having a conversation. We're laid back. We're chilling, eating our Chinese food, whatever we're doing. And Kevin's in sales. And he said, I want to increase my sales. He's sitting in the chair to the far left of me. He said, I want to increase my sales. And I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. And I said, Kevin, let me ask you a question. I said, what do you give to your clients?
Mm.
He said, what do you mean what I give? I said, what do you give? I said, are you just trying to get? Because I gave him the booklet. You probably saw like the video, the little booklet, the Self-Mastery Success book.
Yeah.
And in there, I have the universal laws where I talk about the different laws.
What I talk
I said,
about?
well, the law of cause and effect says, as you sow, so shall you reap. I said, because he's going like into people's homes. I forget exactly what he's selling. He's selling some big ticket items, right?
Yeah.
I said, when's the last time you ever knocked on someone's door? And instead of saying, hey, man, I'm this person here to do this for this and for this. So when's the last time you ever stopped and said, hey, sir, I hope you're having a great day, man. Thank you for inviting me to your home. Here's a bottle of water. Here's a snack just in case you get hungry. When's the last time you ever gave to your clients that you're trying to get money from? He said, never. Well, I said, observe the masses do the opposite. I said, you got to understand how the universe works. If you want to receive, you need to give. So that month, Kevin had a challenging month. He even talked about, I think income was very low. We got back from Utah on the 28th, 19th, I think of this month. 19th, I got back.
Okay.
3 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, Kevin texted me. He said, since we got back from Utah, and this is not about me, it has nothing to do with Jason. It's the information. And if someone applies the information, then they're going to get results.
Well, I talk universal laws
me,
all the time, so this is great.
Please study the universal laws. And he said, actually, he just put it into our self-mastery accountability group. And Kevin shared, I don't know if you guys can see this.
You can see, look.
He said, let's go. I don't know what this is.
I highly recommend.
I'm reading it backward.
Yeah, I highly recommend going. Since I've gotten back from Utah, I've literally made my monthly average gross sales in 1 week since returning home. 8 sales since coming home from Utah. My average closing ratio, 20%, and I've closed 8 of my last 10 for 164,000. Woo! Yeah, incredible.
Now, 164,000 in sales. So he took home 16,000.
Yeah.
But 16,000 in 8 days is more than what he would earn in 30 to 40 to 50 days.
Yeah, just by going off your advice.
By us sitting down, me saying, Kev, and then I actually have a video. Oh my gosh, so many videos. I'm so grateful my friend Kaylee took this video because it was a video of me explaining that exact moment to Kevin on what to do when he got back. And it is right. And I'm sorry if I'm taking forever on your podcast.
No, you're fine. I love stories.
But I love this stuff because it's inspiring. It's like, it should fuel the heck out of you. So this is the video right here. My friend Kaylee, I didn't know she was taking this. She was sitting right on the other side. But this video Kaylee took of me writing on a notepad exactly what Kevin needed to do when he got back home.
And he did it. What a good student.
And he did it. I said, Kevin, go get Fiji water and go get granola bars and go hand those out to your clients. And this is what Kevin did. I mean, he literally did it. This is him at the store. Fiji water and granola bars.
I
He
love
said
it.
for my sales appointments. And this was
Amazing.
on August 19th, the day we got back. And then he texted me this Wednesday, I think when you sent me your email in our group chat.
Incredible.
It's following the laws. It's understanding how the universe works, cause and effect. Whatever you want to get, give.
Yeah.
If you ever want to receive, give. And it's not about receiving from that person. I heard a quote that said, "You'll always reap what you sow, but you may not reap where you sow."
I
You
love
get
that.
it back, but it may not have to come back from that person. So the whole conversation we had in my room was like, Kevin, give, 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 give. And for some reason it clicked and he did it. And that's one of the many stories, but it's such a cool story. Because Kevin, again,
such a great example of the cause and effect, right? Such an incredible, and how quickly things can change when you literally just snap into that. Oh, I love that. I love that so much, Jason. I was going to ask you to leave one piece of, advice, wisdom, quote left with the audience, so we don't take too much of your time. But I think that was it. Or you want to do another? No, I know you've done.
I want to do this. I want to do this. Okay, so
give me a big one. Well, they've all been great.
If someone asked me, what's one thing I need to master?
Yes.
One thing I need to really master and focus. And I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care. I need you to study the universal laws.
Thank you. I love that.
Study the laws. Because here's what I share about the laws, and I can talk about this. I did like 3 separate mindset calls on all the laws, just for like 7 hours.
Just for fun.
So I can talk about this forever. But here's what I work with: people from different backgrounds, different races, different religions all the time. And I know religion can be a conflicting thing for people.
Mm-hmm.
But I often tell them, I say, these are God's laws. I believe God created the universe. These are God's laws. So I don't care what you believe. Let's take a few scenarios. Let's say you're Muslim. Let's say you're Hindu, Christian, atheist, Buddhist, old man, newborn baby, black, white, yellow, orange, Asian, American, Caucasian, whatever. Let's say I put all those people on the edge of a building. I put a Muslim up there. I put a Christian up there. And these are diehards too. Like, they know from Genesis to Revelations people, right? Like, they are really into it. Those, I'm going to put all of them. I'm going to put the atheists that don't believe in nothing. I mean, diehard atheists, like sold on there. Ain't nothing out there. Put them all on the edge of a building. I'm going to put an old man up there. I'm going to put a baby up there. I'm going to put an elephant up there. And I'm going to push you all off the building. Who floats? Who falls?
You want me to answer?
Who floats? Who falls? They all fall. Now, where you go after you fall, that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
But here's the truth. You're going down. Because the law of gravity says, I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, black, white, blue, orange, elephant, baby. If you're heavier than the center, if you're heavier than air, you go down. That's the law. It's God's laws. That's what we need to study versus the things that separate us. There's things that we all have in common. So when you study the law of cause and effect, I don't care what you believe, it works. And here's the thing. You don't even have to believe in the laws. Don't believe in gravity. Walk off a building. Does gravity care about your belief?
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe it works. All right, cool. Go ahead and try it. You'll believe in it when you actually walk off the edge. You don't have to believe in it now. But gravity doesn't care about your belief. Gravity doesn't care about your race. It doesn't care about your religion. It works. So if you really study the Bible and follow Jesus, he talks about the laws. As ye sow, so shall ye. You read the Quran, talks about the laws. If you read the Gita, if you read the Torah, they may not say universal laws, but I'm sure you can find something in there that goes to the law of gestation. They talk about farming. You don't plant the seed and reap the crop in the same day.
Yeah.
Law of gestation means there's a time between you plant the seed and the seed grows. Law of polarity means there's opposites to everything. If there's 10 feet from the floor to the ceiling, there's 10 feet from the ceiling to the floor. So when I was building my business and I was struggling and I was putting in the work, I was getting paid 10% for 90% of the efforts. But when I started to study law of polarity said there's opposites to everything. So eventually, I'm going to get paid 90% for 10% of the efforts if I keep going.
Yeah. It's like every no, there's a yes. It's like, God, I love that.
So study the law. I'm gonna throw out the 8 laws that you should study.
Throw them out.
Law of transmutation means energy is constantly changing form.
Mm-hmm.
If this is water and I leave the top off, where does the water go? It evaporates, turns into clouds form, turn into water. It's constantly changing form. All right. Number 2, the law of vibration, meaning energy is constantly in motion. Nothing sits. Number 3, the law of rhythm means the tide goes out, the tide comes in, the sun is up, the sun is down, meaning that there's seasons to life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always going to be summer, it's not always going to be winter. So what you need to learn with the law of rhythm is what to do when it's summer and what to do when it's winter. When it's winter, it's called adaptation. Learn how to adapt. Because not everything is going to be the same. So you got to learn how to adapt. Law of cause and effect. Whatever you put out, let's come back. Law of polarity, there's opposites to everything. Law of gender, meaning there's a male and female side to everything. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a very touchy topic for people. But if you don't have a male and a female, then you don't have creation. Then you literally kill creation. I know the world we live in today, there's a lot of, the men with men, women with women. Well, if you have that for too long, then you stop creation. So in order to really be creation, you need to have both the male and the female side. Conscious mind, subconscious mind. Conscious mind thinks the thoughts and impregnates the subconscious mind with the idea. Expression through the body. Then the last one, law of gestation. Means there's a time between when you plant the seed and when the seed grows. Study those laws. If you do them, if you apply them, it ain't my information.
No, but it's incredible because even my mentorship is all about universal law because you got to bring it back to the basics. If you don't understand these things,
we should do another podcast just talking about the laws.
We should. I would happily do that. And I really, really appreciate your time, Jason. I can't wait to put this up and share this information with everyone. I will pop in the show notes, but you said best way is to get in touch with you on Instagram or even your phone number. Is that correct?
Of course, 100%. Follow me on Instagram and shoot me a direct message or on my phone number, but just let me know that you watched Fallon's podcast. And before you reach out to me, share this podcast with 2 people. Let me know who you
I like that. Even better. Even better. Awesome. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure connecting with you. We could probably talk universal laws. So maybe we'll
talk and then it'll be dark out here. And then,
I know you just got me like all excited. I'm like, it's the end of the day, but I want to keep going. But I really, really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your story. I'm sure you've inspired many, many people listening and look forward to, connecting with you real soon. And I'll definitely send people your way.
100%. Well, take care. And Fallon, I appreciate what you're doing with this podcast. Make sure you watch it, not just this episode. Make sure you watch other episodes, share it with people, like it, comment, follow, whatever you got to do, subscribe and support what she's doing because she's on the right track. So Fallon, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye.